This year marks a landmark 50th anniversary in a case right here in Arizona that changed the way law enforcement makes an arrest.
We're talking about the ruling on the Miranda versus Arizona case, dictated what we know as the Miranda rights. Fox 10's Courtney Griffin has more.
We've all heard it before, the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, as it goes. But the case that created the Miranda warnings started right here in Arizona. In 1966, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the conviction of Ernesto Miranda on kidnapping and rape charges because he was not informed of his rights during his arrest, making all of his admissions dismissed in court. The arresting officer in the case, Captain Carroll Cooley.
Up until the point that I read about it, I didn't know it appealed, and I thought, gee, we didn't do anything wrong. It was a good case. It's an outstanding case. Why are they appealing? Those are my thoughts.
50 years later, Cooley still remembers every last detail of the Miranda case. He says confessions were a big part of solving cases back then, and said the job's become more difficult since.
He's told you can have an attorney, and why wouldn't he not? Why would he not? Okay, give me an attorney. Well, you know what the attorney's going to say. Don't say a word. I will do the talking for you.
Though the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 5-4 favoring Miranda, Cooley says Miranda was still convicted and sentenced to prison.
He was convicted on 2 separate crimes, coming out of the same day, same time, same room, confessions. We went back to, after the case was overturned, we went back and we reconvicted him again. And we reconvict him. The ironic part is by a confession. But it wasn't to the police. It was to somebody else.
Courtney Griffin, Fox 10 News.
Ernesto Miranda was sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison. He got out on parole and actually began selling autographed Miranda cards that the police would give out for money. He was sent back to prison for a parole violation, and once released, he was stabbed and killed during a bar fight in downtown Phoenix.